We invited Ken Brack, Jan Guidoboni, and Tom Vendetti to our set to talk about the town of Kingston, which enters its tricentennial year in 2026. Here's Community Conversations.
Hi, my name is Ken Brack. I'm one of the Kingston 300 Book Project Directors. We're excited to have you here with us. To my right is Jan Guidoboni, the town historian, and to my left, Tom Vendetti. We'll introduce ourselves a little bit in a moment, but we want to tell you about this wonderful book that's coming out on the advent of the town's 300th incorporation in 2026. The book will be available Thanksgiving, knock on wood, and our first event is planned for November 29th, that Saturday, from noon to 3 at the Font School. We'll tell you about some other events coming up. But the book is a fresh, illustrated history of the town, chock full of compelling people and events and characters, and a new spotlight on some of the earlier events in the town's histories and primary people, as well as a lot on the last 100 years. Various family stories of immigrant generations who've come through, multi-generational businesses, and beyond. One of the treasures of the book is that we've had significant contributions from many of your friends, relatives, and neighbors. About 150 people have contributed their family narratives, anecdotes, and a lot more. The book is highly visual, incredible photography. You're going to see some of it here, and you will definitely see it at our events. Our project photographer is local, Ed Newt, and we had an incredible design team and others that you'll hear about. Let me turn it over to Jan if she'd like a little introduction.
I'm Jan Guidoboni, and Kingston's my hometown, so this has really come to heart. I've learned some new things about Kingston's history, going way back to the very beginning, 300 years, and it's all proven interesting. It's told in a manner, it's history, but it's not the typical history book. It's told in the voice of the participants who've shared their stories with us. It's really, and wonderful photography.
Thanks, Jan. And Tom?
Well, my name is Tom Vendetti, and I've been living in Kingston for a little over 30 years. And I'm a retired school teacher. I spent 40 years in Brockton. And my hobby is history. I'm a member of the Kingston Historical Commission, and I'm the archivist of First Parish Church. And it has been my pleasure to work with Jan and Ken putting this book together. I think you'll enjoy it.
Briefly about myself, I'm a member of the Kingston Historical Commission and a relatively new, very amateur history buff alongside Jan and Tom and others. And the book and putting this together is so compelling, and it's really a celebration. As our editor Jim Farrell has said before, this is the people's book. As Jan said, it's story-driven, and with just one thing briefly that I've enjoyed is just reading the accounts of people who want to share maybe their family's story of a great-grandparents or whatever, to make sure that their grandchildren and the generations to come will have that. So that's a really fulfilling part of this. About the book itself, it's $35 pre-holiday sale price. It's available in various ways. People can buy it by cash, check, credit card machine that we'll have at our events. Also online through our secure site with givebutter.com, and orders have been underway since the beginning of November there. Shipping and handling estimate for those who want to ship to a relative or friend out of state is about $17, and you can do that on the website. We will do the packaging and shipping ourselves. There is no sales tax for the book because we are tax exempt. We set up as a nonprofit, so hopefully that helps too. We're very proud to be able to share the book at this discounted price through the holidays. And going into 26, as the multiple celebratory events that the Kingston 300 Committee is organizing. We plan to be at those events offering books, whether it's the gala at the very end of January, I think it's the 31st, going into the summer, of course, and the many events of that year. Jan and Tom, would you like to share some of your favorite sections or parts of the book? The book has 11 major sections.
I know right off my favorite section is the neighborhoods, because it's the individual neighborhoods that make up a town. And over again, we heard everyone knew everybody else, everybody cared for everyone. And that was the kind of flavor, and it hasn't changed since I grew up, and it's still there. There was all section of town, the Indian Pond area, the seaside, which is down the southern end of town, and then the center. Of course, the center had more history than some of the other neighborhoods, but each neighborhood had its own history, and especially the seaside area with the influx of the immigrants in the 20s. It was makes such an interesting story. It's, you know, we went back to the Pilgrim era, but it's a mixture of all the story. That was my favorite section.
Tom?
Well, my favorite section or sections or articles would have to do first and foremost with people who lived in town as children, and remembering back at the wonderful things that they experienced, the things that they saw, just being neighborly and feeling secure in town, how much they loved it. It's very meaningful to me, being basically a transplant. My next favorite part is a part that actually I researched and wrote myself. When I first came to town, I noticed the town seal had a ship on it, and it said Independence. And I thought that meant, well, you know, the revolution, independence, that it was, you know, kind of a patriotic kind of symbol. But then I found out that it really was a boat that was built here during the Revolution called the Independence. And I had the fun of doing some research and finding some primary source material and wrote the story of the boat, at least as far as I could determine. So it was a lot of fun, and doing the book has actually been a pleasure. I think we've all enjoyed it very much.
Mm.
I'll add that this is less about a section, rather it's more a theme, or how we base the book and the title, I'm sorry, Tales of Jones River Village, Kingston's 300 Years. That's the name of the book. We'll say that again. But the book is based or anchored, if you will, on life on the Jones River and how the town grew. And the river really kind of runs through the whole book. And toward the end, there's a section on the way people, especially in the past 40 years or so, the efforts to restore what was a partially degraded environment and bringing the river back, and marine life, and the efforts underway and the complexities of that. So right when we started, I think Jan pointed out this, we need to begin here.
It's what we have. It's what makes us different than some other communities that don't have the ocean, don't have a river to go to. And if you, maybe we didn't appreciate it enough, but it's part of the livelihood. You go up Route 3A today, and you go across it a number of times. Sometimes you don't notice it, but it's there. It flows. It's changed since I was a child, for sure. Up at the Elm Street when they took down the dams, and it's something I found out that I didn't know, was that they dammed the river for part of the year, and then took the dam away when they needed the water for agriculture. So you know, the grist mill ran while the dam was up, but when the dam was removed, there was no mill there. The water was used for for agriculture. So it's the river is there. It's very important.
And it's very beautiful too.
It is.
People are very lucky in town to be able to come along and enjoy the river
It's
in
right
the
in your
different
backyard.
seasons. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And the animals that live there, you know, it's extraordinary. It's like a corridor of nature.
It's a corridor. Yeah, perhaps share a little bit about the process of writing the book. But first, just to let viewers know some events, and we are publicizing these, you know, throughout. After the launch, community launch on the 29th, that Saturday, the Font School is mentioned, noon to 3, plenty of books there and presentations. The next week or so, very busy. On December 2nd, we will be at the Senior Center, 11 o'clock, before lunch, and have a presentation there. Then on the 4th, at 42nd Brew Company on Summer Street, really happy to have a kickoff event with the town's 300th committee, who've been terrifically supportive, and a number of other entities we'll try to mention as well have been. Then that weekend on Saturday the 6th, at the Silver Bells Fair at First Parish at Sampson Hall in the Beale House. Books will be sold there, and Mr. Vendetti and others be around. And there'll be other events where people can pick up their books to be announced. We'll try to keep it fluid and of course, be accessible.
So if you order the books online, then you can pick up the books at any one of these events.
Yes.
Have them there.
Yeah. And our process, briefly, about 5 years in the making.
Doesn't seem possible.
And just a great volunteer team, and also professional editing, and the designer, as I mentioned before. Many of you will know and admire Sia Stewart, former library director, has been our copywriter and just a tremendous ally throughout. We have very many people to thank. There's a lot of gratitude that goes in and is acknowledged. In the book, the Kingston business community has been terrific. The town, from the town clerk's office, the Veteran Services Office, the Board of Selectmen, have been, you know, partly the wind at our backs.
Proud to share their stories.
Yeah.
Yep. And we have had many contributions from people and businesses who have helped make this book possible. And it's going to be a very beautiful publication. I think you'll enjoy it.
Are there other elements you'd like to, or maybe a particular family story?
Well,
or anything
I like the
came-
story of the whale. Everybody said it's not true, but it is. A whale washed up on Idina, and it lay there for a while because no one knew what to do with it. And in all town decisions, it takes a while, and this one took an exceedingly long time to make the decision as what we're going to do with this. Big equipment had to be brought in, and I mean, it had to be removed, of course. And so they finally moved it, and we had one of the original kettle areas was up underneath where Stop and Shop is today, and it was being used for the town dump at the time, and that's where the tail of the whale ended, was up under the parking lot at Stop and Shop. So it's a nice story. But
Whether you're new to town or several generations have been here, you're going to discover a lot of new elements. There's a lot in the 1900s, you know, whether it's the story of the Kingston Drive-In or the Dairy Queen signs that Ollie D. Macedo had up, or Tassie's, Charlie Horse Restaurant, the Vicerello family with Mamma Mia's, etc., Colonial Saw, just people all around us and what they've done and how they may find some meaning from that.
There's a set of steps, granite steps, right across the street from the Adams Center, and they go nowhere apparently, but they did go to what we call the Lottery House, and I'm not going to tell any more about it, but it was a lottery house But people go by those stairs and they don't realize that they don't go anywhere today, but they did at one time. Yeah, and all the sidewalks and the granite works were where the old hotel used to be. That's another place that people don't realize that was there. Very prominent, very active. Lots of stories about the Kingston Inn.
We'll be sharing more word on the book through local Kingston Facebook pages, including our own with many posts, other social media. I do want to make sure we thank Nicholas Catullus and the archives and the Kingston Public Library Director Donald Colon have been tremendous support, Nick, every step of the way. For one, and a last reminder, perhaps if we have time, the book is throughout the holidays for sale at $35. Tales of Jones River Village, Kingston's 300 years. We're so glad to bring this out for the whole community.
If you'd like to learn more about this project, visit their website at kingston300book.com.
We are so glad you stopped by. If you would like to support community in action through media, please consider donating to the local scene. The QR code here will take you where you need to go. Thanks, friend.